Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna try to hold this camera like this. I am out in nature and I want to talk to you guys about prayer. We're gonna get real about what spelling actually really is, because a lot of people don't realize that everything in this universe is simply just energy and intention. So when you go to speak, you're either speaking life or speaking death. You've heard that before. It's in the Bible. That is what a curse is. You can put a good spell or curse on someone by speaking life into them, by speaking life into yourself, or you can put a bad spell or curse on someone by speaking death, by speaking negative things to them or to yourself. So this is why I rarely pray. Because when you go to pray, prayer is your intentions. It is you communing with the highest divine aspect of creation, of yourself. So you have to be careful what you say in that moment, because you are basically accessing the highest energy frequency that is the collective consciousness, if you want to call it that, for my conscious folks, God, Yeshua, Jesus, if you want to call it that, for my Christian folks. No matter what you call it, it is an energy, and you are talking to the collective energy that is. And so when you go to say a prayer, let's say someone is wanting to harm you, or you're wanting just to harm them. Let's say you go to do a prayer and you're like, God, please let this person just stay away from me, or don't let them like bully me anymore. Or you're basically saying, hey God, don't let this happen, and this is the person that I need to stop. This is what you're saying. Let me tell you a story. My brother, back in middle school, he was like this scrawny, skinny guy, and he was getting bullied by this kid, this like real Billy badass, right, in school, who was getting bullied. And one day he went to pray and he said to God, don't let this person bully me anymore. Let this person learn their lesson so that they can stop bullying me and others. And like a week later, the boy was playing a game of like Russian roulette, and he unalived himself. And that always stuck with my brother, that maybe if he didn't do that prayer, the person would still be alive. So I say that to say you have to be careful, especially as a chosen one, especially as someone who's really tapped into the divine, right? Because when you start to speak to the divine, you open up an energetic cord, right? And so you always have that line of communication open. So even if you're just like a prayer warrior, you have to be careful, because you could put curses on people and on yourself the most. And a lot of people don't understand this. And so this is why I rarely pray, because you have to understand, when you are when you're tapped in to your soul expression, soul frequency, when you're tapped into the divine, when you are a chosen one, your words are powerful. They hold more weight. So if you're not even lined up and feeling positive, it's better not to pray. If you're feeling negative, because everything is energy and frequency, I don't care what you're saying, positive words, it's the negative feelings that are going to go out into the ethers and start to materialize here onto this 3D plane. So this is why I rarely pray. But guys, I am being actually called into a season of prayer. And the last time I was in the season of prayer, it was a very long time ago, about 15 years ago. During this season of prayer, I was going through a very difficult time. I was in Hollywood. I may have been, who knows, I may have been homeless at that point in time. I'm not sure. But I went into this season of prayer, and legit, this is what happened. I literally had came back home to Indiana just to kind of like regroup after like my first relationship, which I was in for like 10 years. This was my first relationship, and I was like in my later 20s at this point. And I went through a season of prayer, and I kid you not, I heard the voice of the divine say surrender, which is just simply just your own voice, right? It's your intuition. But I heard it clear as day, said surrender. And at that point, I went through a season of prayer. I would pray 5 times a day, just like the Muslims. I would get on my knees. I don't care where I was at work, and I would get on my knees in the bathroom, and I would pray 5 times a day. And when I tell you, in less than 6 weeks, my whole life changed. I started working in my field as a television producer. I started working at the Judge Judy show. I started off as a production assistant. I moved up it was like every week I was getting promoted to a different job. I literally ran that whole production studio because it's like I was holding so many jobs. And so I finally did, in like 9 months, I worked my way up to associate producer. And so that all was because of my season of prayer that I was in. So as a chosen one, as a person who is the light barrier, which is what I am here to do, I'm here to heal the heart space of humanity. I'm here to help us close out karmic cycles and get birth onto a higher frequency, so we can go ahead and enter into this new age. So that's what I'm here to do. And so I'm being called into a season of prayer. And so me understanding what this means, me understanding the power I have to really make sure I'm lined up. I have to really make sure I'm fasting. I have to really make sure I stay away from negative things and negative people. And I'm going to kind of be in a bubble during this time. I'm going to be in an energetic bubble, because I understand there's going to be powerful things that will happen during this time. So just be careful. Know who you are before you start to pray. Your heart space has to be right and correct. Has to be pure when you go to pray. That's how a lot of people get these spells on them. Most of the spell work is actually done by Christians, guys. Believe it or not. A lot of these people call themselves prayer warriors, doing these return to sender prayers and fire in the name of Jesus and stuff. Those are spells, in fact. Those are all spells. Because if you are having a negative feeling in your heart space when you do it, then it is a spell, in fact. And you can put, like I said, good spells too on yourself and on other people. So the tongue in itself is a spell. It is a curse. So speak life or speak death. Okay? So I'm going to leave this video here, and then I'm just going to pick up and talk about something else in a different video. But I love you guys. Look, the birds, the bees, and yes, all the trees, they all love you too. Love is the way. Forgiveness, it is the key. And truth is the absolute light that will always, always guide us home. Be well. Be well, guys. Bye.